Shalom. My name is Amuna Yisrael, and this is 7 Confessions of a Black Breastfeeding Mother. This is National Black Breastfeeding Week. I'm here, and so I learned about it this year, and I wanted to participate. I've been doing a Facebook page. It's been going great. Wrote a few articles. It's a beautiful thing. Continue nursing your children and bringing them up and connecting and sharing that bond. So this is 7 confessions each day for the entire week. I will share one confession of my breastfeeding of both babies, and twins. So it's gonna be really interesting. Preemies, twins, and one who was late, and she's here and she's doing well. So let's jump right in. Confession number 1. When I very first breastfed my daughter, which will be like, she's gonna be 7 years this year, I didn't know what I was doing. I did not know what I was doing. Here's a short on the story. She was born in a birthing center in Brooklyn. And she took a really long time to come. The labor was really long. And when she finally decided to come, it was a Monday night. And it was another couple had just come in. And so the midwife, she was getting a little antsy with me, you know, because it was taking a long time for her to deliver, and she was the only one on staff. And do you know that the other couple went into labor? I just delivered, and so it was short staff. It was crazy. So the baby was born. I was so glad she was finally here. I held her in my hands, and she looked at me, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I tried. It was a little awkward. I fumbled a little bit, but I was determined. One thing before she was born, I was determined that I'm not giving her no formula. And so that's confession number 1. I didn't have enough time because they were running in between, so I felt like I felt a little awkward and I felt confused. And then when I went home, she wouldn't latch on. And she would only latch on in the laying down position, and they told me, oh no, don't do that. And then my family unit at home at that time they weren't very supportive. I'm just gonna keep it real. And they were like, oh, you should give the baby. So I started researching. Don't mess with me, because when I started researching, you know, and so I found out that in the beginning, the baby has a fat reserve, right? And so I'm like, okay, fat reserve sounds good. So about 3 days they have for that fat reserve to kick in. So that's why they naturally lose some weight in the beginning, and then they gain it back. And so I use that time to know that, right, the baby doesn't need that much milk in the stomach. What they really need is that bond and the connection. So I look at my baby and like, we're gonna do this. I tell you, she was born on a Monday. The only way that she comfortably latched on was laying down. And it wasn't until that Friday I was determined, because people was like, give the baby, okay, this is for the Jamaican, give the baby some gripe water. I'm like, gripe water? What? Give the baby this, give the baby that. The baby hungry, the baby wants some water, the baby wants some this. I said, the baby, have you ever seen a baby goat drinking water, or does he drink the mother's milk? And I had to stand up, new birth and all, newborn in hand. I am not giving up. She's going to learn to latch on. I'm going to be patient, breathe it out, and everybody else back off. And that's what happened. And it was my mother-in-law who came that Friday, and she sat with me patiently, and she said, you know, wipe off your little boobie, she called it. Wipe off the boobie, Imuna. Wipe it off and get it ready, and perk up the nipple. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Perk it up, and then the baby latched on. And it was a Friday, so it was going into the Shabbat. And I said, praise be to the Most High for all those who may be discouraged, who is the beginning. Understand, get some knowledge. Knowledge is key. The first 3 days, your baby is crying for you. The baby that's just colostrum. The milk don't come down to the 3rd or 4th day. And take your time, trust the process, make sure that you're eating the proper thing, you're not smoking, you're not taking caffeine, you're not doing anything that will stop your milk from coming in. Drink a lot of liquids, and before you start drinking, actually drink some tea, you know, and things that's going to help your milk let down, and trust and relax, no stress, and feed your baby. So that's confession number 1. Stick with me for 6 more days of confessions of a Black breastfeeding mother, and enjoy breastfeeding week. And I tell you, I got some stories, so stay tuned.